Hi, this is Krista at The Secret Yarnery. Welcome to Crochet Podcast, episode 120. Thank you so much for inviting me over. Today's podcast, jam-packed with crochet goodness. I'm going to share with you my finished object, my whips, what is on my hook, and a temperature blanket update, plus a good old stack in the back. Before we get started, I want to give a big congratulations to winner from episode 119. She wins a free pattern from my website, secretyarnery.com. Congratulations to Sandara Moore. Congratulations, Sandara. Send me an email, Krista at secretyarnery.com, and I will email you my latest pattern. If you want to win a free pattern, just keep watching. I'll tell you how to do it. What is in the Yarnery today? Quite a bit, actually. So this big blanket on my sofa back there, that is Secret Stitches Cal 2021. We did a block every month, a new stitch. You could use different yarn color, or you could use it all in the same yarn. You could make each block with the same color yarn. Turned out so gorgeous. I just love mine so much. So that was Secret Stitches Cal 2021. Turned out so gorgeous. I just love mine so much. This year we're doing a temperature blanket, and we're also doing Bloomscape Cal. Bloomscape Cal is one block a month, but it is a flower in the middle of a granny square, a really pretty granny square. If you want to learn more about the Bloomscape Cal 2023, I will link it up in the cards and in the description box under the video. You can go check it out. There's a whole playlist from start to where we are right now. So I think there's 5 different flowers to already make. Super fun. So if you want to partake in that, it's over in that playlist. What else? We have the Sober Granny in a spiral cowl or hoodie, and she also has fingerless gloves on in the same stitch. So a little matching set there. Those are really fun to make really quick. So easy, and they look glamorous. And it's in a spiral, so no joining or stepping up or anything. And that little thumb hole is almost automatic. It's an amazing pattern, so check that out also. I'm sitting on a Speedy Granny Ruth. This beauty right here, that is my baby alpaca Speedy Granny Ruth, same as the tutorial and written pattern, but I just destashed some knitting yarn I was hoarding forever, which I love. So now it is a queen size bedspread, but if you turn it, there is still tassels at the foot and there's still tassels at the headboard. No ends to sew in, super quick, fun pattern. It was my grandma's favorite, so that's why we call it Speedy Granny Ruth. What else can you see? This is a dress from Bob Wilson 123. I don't know which pattern it was. I made it when I first started to crochet as an adult. I love it. I made it with chenille yarn. It is really kind of thick and warm, so I don't really wear it much. Plus, I don't even think it'll really fit me anymore, but really, really cute. So dressed up the mannequin in that. Those are my super huge crochet balls. It's a yoga ball, exercise ball cover. So those are amazing. I made 2. That's the big one. That's the small one. And there is my lambkin. That's Mile a Minute with lambkin over there. So that is, I think, what you can see. Oh, my string of pearls plant and my mushroom tissue house cover, if you can see it. So, finished object. It's small, but it's great. So I made a whole bunch of these. 18 of them, not a whole bunch. I made 18 of these, and I was gonna join them into a granny square blanket, continuous join as you go. So those are adorable. I made a bunch, and that brings us to works in progress. Works in progress. I made 18 of the sunflower granny squares. I wanted to join them not side by side like a polka dot blanket. I wanted to join them like a bit staggered. So like a plain block in between each one. So it's more of like a checkerboard. But I started with a granny square, but I didn't like it at all. I was gonna frog it back or just put it as a UFO unfinished object, because I don't think it looks very special. It looks like I was making really nice sunflower granny squares, got tired, bored in a hurry, and made a whole bunch of just granny squares to match up. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, it's not even the right colors for now. I feel like springtime. This is like autumn. I should box it up and do it as a tutorial in like September or October. But if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know how many of those projects I have and how many years it takes me to get back to them. So far 6. I haven't gotten back to any of them. So if I pack this up, chance of me remembering I have it and dragging it out, can't say it's gonna happen. But I wasn't enjoying it at all. So, are you ready for it? You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna wanna make one. That's how good it is. All the work, all the stitches, same as the sunflower, but in neutral. I like to darken this down a bunch. Look at that. See, I'm right into that. I think that's gorgeous. So now I made 17 of the monochrome and 18 of the sunflower. So sunflowers are gonna be the corners and the monotones are gonna be the filler in between. Isn't that gorgeous? And I'm not a monotone girl, but look at that. I almost love it more than the actual sunflower. Do you see what I mean? So good. So all the ends are sewn in except for the last one, which I'm gonna sew in after they're joined. I'm gonna join these in continuous join as you go. Cute, right? So continuous join as you go. So you start and you join your first row all along just the bottom edge, and then you go around and down and join until you've made your first row except the last side. Join your second row just on the bottom edge. It's a bit hard to explain, but I'm gonna show you in a tutorial how to do it. I did show you for, I think it's in here, the Daisy Granny baby blanket. I showed you how to join the granny squares in continuous join as you go, just the 4, but this will be joining like a proper blanket. So super excited about that. All ready to be filmed. And then it'll be a blanket. What? Just like that. Boom. Sunflower blanket done. And I love continuous join as you go. You don't have to keep cutting your yarn and sewing in your tails. There's one tail to start, one tail to finish, and then one tail per square just to go back and underneath where all those stitches are going to be. So excited about that. Can't wait to film it. It is ready to go. And also working on my temperature blanket, which brings us to temperature blanket update. I just got it from right there. So you might have already seen it if you were looking closely. But this is my temperature blanket so far. Yes, I am behind on it on purpose. This is how, I think I have 3 days to do, 4 days maybe. I love it. I'm so happy I got to that purple. Can you see it? Let me make you darker. Look at those gorgeous colors. Isn't that amazing? I love it. So the periwinkle kind of blue, that's my 28. And it's been 28 a lot. So these were my colors, starting at hot, going down to cold. So instead of rethinking the wheel, I just flipped it and made this my hot, going all the way down to this is my cold. Because I just really love all these colors in here. And this really nice turquoise, like this center color here, would be 21 if I had pink as my hot color. Or it's 26 if it is my hot colors. So all of these gorgeous colors I get to use more often, and then it'll spice up with the corally pinks when it is freezing cold. So that's how I got this gorgeous, fabulous design here. So 1 row a day with the yarn decided by the high temperature at the highest, hottest time of day. So for me, it's around 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the afternoon. I have a thermometer out on my wall in the shade right here by the Yarnery. So I just go out and take the temperature. I also have my little journal where I keep track of the temperatures. And if I forget to check the temperature, I can pretty much add 2 degrees from what the weather app says to what it physically is at my house. So I can kind of use that as a backup if I forget to check the temperature. But I'm so happy with that. And what I'm going to be doing, and why I haven't worked on it, it's on purpose. No stitch marker, by the way. Look at that danger right there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do a live the last Tuesday of every month. And I'm going to catch up on my temperature blanket with you. You can grab your whip and a sip or your temperature blanket if you are making one, and we can get caught up on our projects. For me, I don't want other people doing temperature blankets beating themselves up when they stop doing it every day, because you're going to stop doing it every day. There are people who can, and there are people that do. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying you can join me and get caught up once a month. Don't feel bad about it. I'm already planning for it. So that'll be the last Tuesday of the month. I think it's the 31st of January, but last Tuesday of the month. And that'll be afternoon in Australia, morning in Europe, and at night in North America. Now it is time for Tip of the Week. Tip of the week, weigh your project. So if you want to find out how much yarn it took to do that next row, go ahead, grab a kitchen scale, grab a bowl to put on top of it or a basket, something big enough where you can still see the screen underneath, but your whip will also not be falling out onto the counter on top of it, and weigh your work. That is exactly how much yarn you have used. Then you can do some simple math based on how many yards there are, or how many meters there are per 100 grams or per ounce, and weigh your work. That is exactly how much yarn you have used. Then you can do some simple math based on how many yards there are, or how many meters there are per 100 grams or per ounce, and going by the yarn label, you will know how many meters or yards that is. And just a tip, you could also do that for your temperature blanket. If you want to know how much yarn you're going to need, I can't tell you the colors, but if you weigh your temperature blanket before you do a row, and then weigh your temperature blanket again after you do a row, you will see how much yarn you used per row, and you will need 365 rows to complete your blanket. So that's a little cheat to find out how much yarn you're going to need in total, although it won't tell you what colors to buy. And now it's time for your questions. The first question is from Linda Rogers. She says, I love all your projects. I've made a couple of the baby blankets from your tutorials, love them, and so do the recipients. Love the way you explain each and every step and show exactly where the stitch needs to be. You made it really easy to follow. My question to you is, where do you get all the inspiration to create, and how do you decide what it shall be? Thank you for sharing. Well, thank you so much for asking, Linda Rogers. Where do I get my inspiration from? Usually, I'm a bit of a selfish crocheter. I get my inspiration from something I want in my house. I'm like, I want a plant, I'll crochet a plant. If I want pillows, I'll crochet pillows. If I want something for my bed, I'll make that for my bed. I make things that I want. And I think that also helps me stay inspired to finish them, because I physically want the object in my house. Minus baskets. I want baskets in my house, but I'm really uninspired to do them right now. I could probably try them again. I haven't made baskets in about 6 years. I wanted to make them when I first started crocheting as an adult, so I did. And I just got really tired of, the small hook and the 2 strands of yarn and like making them all stiff like that. So I haven't gotten back on that saddle yet, but usually my inspiration comes from something I want in my own house. The next question is from Farm Crochet. She says, hello, the wrap looks beautiful. The question I would ask is, when crocheting, do you make the things because you absolutely love them yourself, including the colors, or do you crochet a pattern and choose the yarn colors randomly for us, the audience? Very good question. I would have to say both. I crochet a lot of things for myself, so I have to love those colors for me. But for tutorials, I really do pay a lot of mind to picking yarn colors that you can see. So I don't try not to crochet with things that match my skin color. Do you know what I mean? Like, I try not to use too many like beigey, peachy kind of colors, because I really do want the yarn to show up in the tutorials. And I also want my thumbnail, that is the picture you see when you scroll through YouTube. I want the thumbnail to look appealing. For me, that means color. For other people, it means more beigey, pastel-y kind of colors, but I like things that pop in my thumbnails, so I have to say both. But I do keep what it's gonna look like when I'm filming, or what it's gonna photograph like. I do pay attention to that as well. So thank you so much for asking those questions, which brings me to, how to win a free pattern. It's time for Question of the Week. Question of the week is, what question would you like me to answer in an upcoming podcast? Do you have a question that you'd like me to answer? Let me know in the comments under this video. Also, have you subscribed to this channel? Go ahead and hit this button under this video right now so you don't miss out on any more fun stuff just like this. Yes, you have to be a subscriber and then answer question of the day in the comments under this video, and I'll be picking a random comment from a subscriber in the next podcast to win a free pattern. Now, before I jump into news of the week and get to stack in the back, I want to take a quick sec and thank all of my channel members, especially my family members. Thank you so much for all of your support and helping me make new videos. And the family members are Kim, Mama Hodge, Claire, Leslie, Narelle, Marie, Cindra, Caroline, Donna, Tracy, Carrie, Crystal, Kathy, Lynn, Lori, Yolanda, Ryan, Stephen, and Valerie. Thank you so much for helping me make more videos and just being an amazing part of my life. Thank you. So getting right to it, who's ready to unpack that stack? Yep, we're gonna go get a stack in the back. It is third shelf down on the left. Are you ready? Let's go get that stack. Look at that stack. Can you recognize anything in there? This is gonna be a good one. This is the Cakes and Candles one ball shawl. So this is one ball of Magic Light. That is at Ice Yarns. It is a thin yarn, but it says a one ball shawl, so it's as much as you could make with one skein of yarn. Perfect for like wearing underneath a jacket or something, just to like keep your neck a little bit warm. But it's also super lacy and light and thin. Really, really pretty. So this is tutorial and written pattern. Love those colors, right? And there is a pattern also to make it into a full square to make a baby blanket. It's really cute. So that is Cakes and Candles one ball shawl. The Dirty Granny. Who doesn't love a dirty granny? This is Magic Glitz. Oh my gosh, the glory. The glory of this yarn and this stitch. Let me get it untangled here. There we go. Now look at all those gorgeous color changes. Now this yarn does it all by itself. It's like my favorite yarn. I keep it stocked over there. I have at least 16. It might be 12. Hold on. It's 11. I have 11 balls, and I have 8 balls of the same yarn without the glitz. So with the glitz, it's called Magic Glitz. Without the glitz, it's called Magic Light. Exact same yarn. One has that metallic lurex strip along with the yarn, and the other does not. Both colorway, it's just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous yarn to work with. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So it's everything. It's a variegated yarn that you must have. It's a must have. This beauty, who doesn't love it? So this is also with Magic Glitz. I'm on a Magic Glitz kick, or I was. Do you remember the name of this beauty? This is the Aurora Dawn shawl with dragon teeth border. Look at that border. Look at that yarn. It's also with Cotton Baby 100. Now it would be pure cotton 100. But back then I think it was Cotton Baby. And they were in 50-gram balls. But now you would use Magic Glitz. So I made, it's 1 Mile a Minute stripes. in Magic Glitz, joined in a peach baby cotton. You see that? Really pretty. Look at that gorgeousness. So it's a nice light. Is that too bright again? Yep. Look at all those gorgeous colors. So some stripes are with the cotton and joined together with Magic Glitz, and then the next one over is opposite. So Magic Glitz for the center and cotton for the outside. And then that gorgeous border. Isn't it fabulous? I love it. It's my favorite shawl for sure. Especially because it's like light, because the cotton's not, it's like a light cotton. But it also feels like you're wearing something beautiful. Oh, I gotta turn on my lights now. So this is a winner for sure. Must, must, must. If you haven't made one, you have to. I love it. This pattern is a win. It's a solid, solid win. This is Ancona. Now this is nothing. This is a shawl, a scarf. Oh, I even finished it off almost. I ran out of yarn. I was gonna film it and then I'm like, how are y'all gonna see those stitches? You can't see the stitches, but that's the beauty of it. Look, you can't see those stitches. And it smells gorgeous. It has some real wool in there. Those chunky little bits. Isn't that just great? So this is the same pattern I used to make the bulky scarf, bulky yarn scarf. It's on the channel. I will link it. This is just so great. So you can do this pattern with any sort of chunky, crazy yarn you have. You just work into the spaces like a really, really big V-stitch. Works out so great. So this is big enough for me to wear, but I didn't make it into a pattern or anything like that. And I guess I could actually even just sew in my two tails and give up on tutorialing it because the yarn, I'm sure, is long gone. But isn't that like just spectacular? Ever seen amazing yarn like that? Oh, it's so good. So love that. Look how good it is. I should wear that in the winter. That was Ancona from Ice Yarns. So here's a little party cardi. Now I made this for Tanea, I think, my daughter. So it's a baby party cardi. I think it's even with Karen Simply Soft. Or is it Red Heart? No, it was Red Heart something. But she's not that size. I made it like to go to her width, but I forgot that, you know, she's shapely. So it's never been worn, and I'm not frogging it because I think I already sewed in my ends, and it's just too cute. So I guess I did make children's clothing right there. I made it wrong, but I made it. This, I don't know what I'm doing with it. This was gonna be a pattern. Maybe it is a pattern, I don't know. I was doing a different collar. Ooh, I like it though. I was doing a different collar on, you know, the regular granny square sweater concept, but I wanted a collar like a proper collar. Let me show it to you. Oh, that's kind of cute. And then it has just like a nice flat collar that stops. I think it was, I changed it a bunch of times because I wanted it to stop where my, like at the bottom of the sweater. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to like wear that in a mirror and see if I'm still working on it or not. I don't even know if I have the yarn. I probably don't even have the yarn. I could improvise. So, I don't know, I forget what, I don't know. I haven't worn it. I haven't even seen it in so long. So I guess that's a good thing to do, stack in the back. I'm gonna leave this out even so I can like see what I'm doing with it. That's a thing. That's an object right there. This gorgeous one, I think this is the same stitch I want to do for my Easter egg blanket, but made into a gorgeous shawl, wrap, scarf. It is all the yarn that comes in a pack. And it's big enough to be a bit of a wrap and a bit of a scarf. pretty? Gorgeous, right? But now there's no more yarn. So I don't know what I'm doing with it. I love it, but it's not finished and there's no more yarn. So it's just sitting there. Pretty, right? It's a nice yarn. I don't even know what it was for Mice Yarns. If you know or remember what yarn this was, let us all know in the comments under the video. Please. That's really nice yarn. Oh, this is a little Christmas table runner. I did not crochet this, but it's definitely crochet. It's thread crochet. And it is a big table runner. I'd like to actually do that. Maybe I should do this one in like a thicker yarn. That'd be pretty cute. How does she sew in the ends of that white thread? Good Lord. Look at the back. It's so detailed. I don't even know who made this. I got it at a secondhand store for like $1. I couldn't let it stay there. So it just goes into my cherished crochet. I don't know who made it, but I know that's a lot of work and that's a lot of stitches. So that's part of our holiday cheer. And the last of the stack in the back is my granny square bag that is lined. So it's lined all the way. It does not stretch in the least. It does not stretch. So little granny squares for the edge, like a little messenger bag. Little granny squares along the edge, joined in metallic because why not? And then a big granny square in the front and a big granny square at the back. So if you want to do this, it's already a written pattern and tutorial on the channel. Super cute, lined the whole way, including little pockets on the inside for your phone or whatever you want to keep inside your bag. So that is a little cute project. And that's it for Stack in the Back. What was your favorite piece from Stack in the Back? Well, I gotta put it away. But I'm gonna leave out that pink sweater. I'm gonna put the rest away. So pretty, right? So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I'm waiting for you in that video right there, and stay hooked.